Ever catch yourself thinking, man, what if I had done things differently? Taken that other job, maybe moved to that other city.
Oh, yeah. I think we all do that from time to time. Like, what if I had?
Totally. It's like we can't help but wonder about the paths not taken. But get this. There's this audio drama called Parallel Lives that takes that idea and, well, runs with
The
it.
parallel lives.
Yeah. And we're going to take a deep dive into it today.
Okay, sounds interesting.
It is. It's about this person, Alex, and every morning they wake up as a different version of themselves.
So, like, different job, different life, different everything.
Yep, pretty much. Different relationships, different experiences, sometimes even a different name.
Wow, okay. I can see why you said it takes the idea and runs with it.
It's a wild ride. And it really makes you think. Like, if that happened to you, what would you do? Would you freak out? Would you try to figure out what was going on?
I think I'd probably freak out first, honestly. But yeah, I mean, how could you not try to figure it out?
Right. And that's part of what makes this audio drama so cool. It's not just about the sci-fi what-if aspect.
Huh.
It really digs into the human side of things. Like, what would that kind of constant change do to your sense of self?
Yeah. It makes you wonder how much of who we are is tied to our experiences, our memories.
Exactly. If you're constantly waking up as someone new, do you ever really know who you are?
That's deep.
It is, right. And this audio drama explores that in some really interesting ways. I don't want to spoil too much, but there's some pretty intense scenes where Alex is like grappling with these exact questions.
Okay. So it's not just like a fun, lighthearted adventure through different realities. It's got some depth to it.
Oh, it definitely has depth,
Yeah.
but it's also a really good listen. The story keeps you hooked because you're trying to figure out, along with Alex, why this is happening. Like, is there a reason they're shifting between these different laws?
Yeah, I'd want to know that too. Like, is it random? Is someone doing this to them? So many questions.
Right. And then there are the bigger questions that the drama raises about destiny and free will. Like, if Alex is living all these different lives, does that mean we all have infinite versions of ourselves out there?
Whoa. That is a mind-blowing thought.
It is. And the drama doesn't really give you any easy answers, which I kind of like. It leaves you thinking about it long after you've finished listening.
I can see why you wanted to deep dive into this one.
Yeah, I think it's one of those stories that really gets under your skin.
Hmm.
There's this one scene that really stuck with me. One day, Alex wakes up, and they're this super successful entrepreneur living the high life. Big house, fancy car, the whole nine yards.
Sounds nice.
Right. But then the very next day, they wake up and their life is completely different. They're struggling to make ends meet, working a dead-end job, just trying to keep their head above water.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty stark contrast.
It is. And it's not like they did anything differently to cause it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just dot bam, their reality changed.
Yeah, and I think that's what the drama is trying to get at, right? That maybe we don't have as much control over our lives as we think we do.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Or maybe it's saying that even small choices can have huge consequences down the line, like the butterfly effect.
Right, right. One tiny decision ripples out and creates a totally different future.
Exactly. And Parallel Lives really plays with that concept. Like, there's this scene where Alex has to decide whether or not to tell their boss the truth about a project that's going wrong.
Uh-oh. Sounds like a tough one.
It is. And depending on what they choose, their life goes in a completely different direction.
Hmm.
Like, in one reality, they tell the truth, and it actually works out in their favor. They get promoted, they end up super successful and happy. But in another reality, telling the truth gets them fired.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it sends them down this whole other path that's full of struggles and setbacks.
So basically, their whole life hinges on that one moment of truth-telling.
It's pretty crazy to think about. And it makes you wonder, are all our choices like that?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not to that extreme, but
But, like, do we ever really know what the ripple effects of our decisions are going to be?
exactly. I think that's one of the things Parallel Lives does so well. It takes this complex kind of philosophical idea
Hmm.
and makes it feel real, like you can
Right.
really imagine yourself in Alex's shoes.
And that makes the whole destiny versus free will thing even more mind-boggling.
Right. It's like if we could see all the different paths our lives could take.
Oh, man, that would be intense. Like, imagine seeing all the different versions of yourself.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty overwhelming, but maybe also kind of amazing. Like, imagine seeing all the possibilities, all the different people you could become.
True, yeah. It's like, would you be comforted by seeing those other lives or just be freaked out?
It's a good question. And that's something I really liked about Parallel Lives. It doesn't shy away from the tough questions, and it leaves you with a lot to think about.
Sounds like it. I'm gonna have to check it out.
You totally should. If you're into audio dramas that make you think, that make you question things,
Yeah, I'm all about that.
then yeah, this one is definitely for you. It's called Parallel Lives, and you won't regret giving it a listen. It's a deep dive into, into everything, really.
Yeah.
Choice, fate, who we are, the whole shebang.
Wow. I'm sold. Definitely adding it to my list.
Cool. Glad I could point you in the right direction. Until next time.
Yeah.